Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends series Walmart exclusive, and not only Walmart exclusive, Walmart.com exclusive. We did just get confirmation from Dan Yoon that this Doctor Strange figure was an online only item, so do not expect to see this in store. If you do, it could be some kind of error or an online purchase that was refunded and returned at the store. Online only. Do expect more quantities to become available later in the spring, as Dan Yoon tweeted that out in the same tweet. So if you missed out on it, there is still luck for you. So if you don't want to overpay, don't overpay. There's still a chance that you'll be able to get a hold of this figure a little bit later on. But it's looking pretty awesome. Classic Doctor Strange. We get a nice Doctor Strange logo there. We get the Sanctum Sanctorum logo there. Excuse me. We get this awesome side artwork there of Doctor Strange. We get the same look on the back of the package there. His bio reads, Stephen Strange was a brilliant surgeon before an accident ruined his hands. Now he defends our reality from the supernatural threats as Earth's sorcerer supreme. I don't know why I had the hardest time reading that. But this thing does look really cool. This is what we want from Marvel Legends. Packed with all kinds of accessories. We get 2 interchangeable heads. We have interchangeable hands. We have weapons. We have effect pieces. All kinds of great stuff. This was a higher price figure, as it seems that, you know, exclusive figures tend to kind of get that upcharge of things, where this one was $26.49. But there's lots of accessories, so hopefully, you know, from what I've seen, there's been a lot of, I don't want to say positivity, but people are saying, hey, this is what we want out of Marvel Legends. Yes, it was a little bit more, but look how much stuff it's packed in there with. You know, prior to the price increases of things, we would have seen this as like a $24.99 figure, but, you know, $26.49 being the price. And then, you know, when the next increase goes up, we're probably looking at $28.99 or whatever the case may be. It sucks. All that sucks. But it is what it is. Anyway, Doctor Strange looking pretty damn cool. Let's get it out of the package. Okay, so here's Doctor Strange out of the package, and he is packed with all kinds of accessories, which are really cool. One thing that I am a little disappointed in, now I've already, the spoiler alert, I've already heard that the cape is glued onto the torso, like it's not going to come off. But what I did not realize or did not know, it's the same damn cape, Cloak of Levitation, that we got, in the, which one was this? This is the Dormammu Build-A-Figure Wave Doctor Strange. So they used the same cape and glued it onto this new one. That's not, I guess, a terrible thing. I just thought that we would be getting a new one. That is all. It just kind of threw me off that it's the same exact one. But, you know, it is what it is. That's cool. The accessories are really cool. So let's first take a look at the accessories, and we'll take a closer look at the Doctor Strange figure. Okay, so first we have these magic effects here, and they're done in a yellowish orange translucent plastic, and then these orange areas off the kind of the magical tips and everything there. These look pretty good. They are not new. We've seen these things with every single magical being Marvel Legends figure that we've gotten, so nothing new, but it is cool that we got 2 of them at least, so can't complain there. Additional interchangeable hands. We have a fist for the left hand, and we have this open holding hand for his right hand. Out of the package, he has these like spell casting hands, as you can see there, and those are new. Next up, we have the wand of Watum. That looks really good. The sculpt of it is quite nice. Looks to be a little bit of a reddish wash throughout the gold plastic. Whoop, a little bit of a reddish wash across the gold plastic. That looks really good. It's sculpted quite nicely there, as you can see. Yeah, looking really good. We have this axe here, and the axe is cool, but my big complaint about the axe is this thing is super rubbery. Feels, I mean, it's super flimsy feeling, which kind of sucks because it's sculpted quite nicely. The gray is kind of that metallic, cheap-looking gray in a way, but they added some paint to it to kind of, you know, cover it up a little bit, and it looks pretty good. Kind of has some wear to it. The blade themselves have some cracks. Sculpted again really nicely there. The handle is just done in this black color there, but we get a nice silver here at the end as well. That looks really good. And then we have these interchangeable heads. We have this one, which Doctor Strange at some point wore a blue mask. I guess the book wasn't selling real well, so they wanted to kind of change him up a little bit, so they put this blue mask. on there. It's just all blue with a little bit of gold for the eyes and a little bit of a dark black color kind of right underneath the eyes. If I'm not mistaken, this looks to be like the Silver Surfer head sculpt. I don't think it's any different. I think it is just the straight up Silver Surfer head sculpt that we've gotten before. But we also have this other one where Doctor Strange, his eyes closed, which could be like mid-cast. That's what he's doing. You know, he's working on a spell, so his eyes are closed. And this does look really good. I'll show this on the figure a little bit later. But pretty nice. Now, let's get a look at Doctor Strange. Okay, so here is a look at Doctor Strange. The new head sculpts are really, really nice. We do get that digital print for the eyes there. That looks pretty good. A lot of gray hair and the black hair there. Like that. A little bit of facial hair. Looks really good. Again, we get a similar looking head sculpt there. They do have different sculpts for the hair, so it's cool that they did that. A lot of times we get like different faces with the same hair, but the hair is different on these two guys, on the two heads. Looking at his suit, on mine, I think it's something that you have to have in hand to really see the differences in the blue. So for the design of his suit, you have this light blue portion in there, and that's all sculpted, so it's not just paint, but that's actually sculpt work in there. Having it in hand, it's very noticeably different, whereas I think if you see it on video, you're kind of like, well, it really blends in. You can't see it, but again, in hand, you could really see the difference. There, it looks really good. We get the yellow gloves. We get the black spots on there. But the yellow gloves are a nice touch. We get this yellow sash that hangs down really low. This is a rubber piece that's very hard rubber, so that's going to hinder the hell out of the legs, I think, shortly. The Eye of Agamotto there, it's actually... I'm having a hard time looking at it. I think it's sculpted, so you can kind of see the outline of it. Whereas on the previously released version, the eye actually had silver paint, so you couldn't necessarily notice the sculpt. So I don't know if that's been something that's just been changed, or if they did a different, very similar gold paint color in there to bring out the eye design. But you guys let me know down in the comments below. It's hard for me to tell, but I think it's more so of a sculpt, and you just can't tell or see it because of the paint that's added on this one. But looking at his cape, the cloak, we get this yellow paint over the red, and it's pretty good for the most part. You get some of that red that bleeds through in some areas. We don't get a wash or any kind of shadow or shading on the back of the cape like we got on the previous released one, so lots of nice color change-ups in here. The trim of the cape was gold on the previously released one. Here we just get this bright-ass yellow to give it a more classic comic book look, and I think it looks pretty good. And then nothing on the inside of it, it's just all red. Same thing on the other one, we didn't get any kind of wash or anything like that. And then he just has kind of standard black legs. These look like the 2099, Spider-Man 2099 legs. Which actually works out really well. I'm glad we didn't get Bucky Cap legs like we had gotten previously, because look at them tiny ass feet. Ridiculous. So, very nice looking Doctor Strange. Now let's see how well he can move. And it's going to be slightly hindered because of this damn cape. It's stuck on there. That ain't coming off. Let's check it out. Okay, Doctor Strange. So Doctor Strange is on a ball hinge. Ball disc hinge, so he can look down that much. Looking up, he can do that much. His back of the head hits the collar piece of the cape there. He can kind of do a full rotation if you really work around it, but he can look side to side, and he does actually have quite a whole lot of pivot in there, so that is great. The shoulder you can get up to go kind of straight out. The cape would really hinder it anyway from doing like a full rotation, so just be aware of that. There's no butterfly joint, but it feels like it's kind of loose in there to allow a little bit of backward motion. Not quite a butterfly, but at least kind of moves around a little differently. There is a single jointed elbow on this guy, so you get the swivel at the elbow, so no bicep swivel like we would usually get, and then it defaults when it's single jointed to being pinless, but not really a true pinless, you know. But the single jointed elbow gives you just about a 90-degree bend, wrists swivel, and they do hinge. All the hands have the standard horizontal hinge, by the way. We do have an ab crunch on Doctor Strange, so he can crunch forward that much there. He can crunch back a little bit, but that cape is going to greatly hinder that, of course. There's a waist swivel right above the sash. The sash piece is kind of like glued onto this little portion here where his tunic, his shirt, you know, comes down a little bit longer. The legs you can get to go out that far apart. There is a slit here on this side to allow additional leg movement, but there's not one on the right side, so be aware of that. Kicking forward is a problem because of the way that shirt piece comes down. He can't really kick forward a whole lot. Leg doesn't really go back. You have an upper thigh cut in there. Get a double jointed knee like so. You have a calf swivel there. Foot hinges down. A little bit of hinge up. Ankle pivot. Peg holes at the bottom of the feet. It's a shame that this cape is glued on because it hinders so much motion and movement. And, you know, I'm sure, you know, Doctor Strange is going to have this on most of the time, but it's a little difficult with it always just constantly there. You know, I realized I did not show you guys the head swap, so I'm going to pop that one off. We're going to put the close-eyed version on him. It's a little stiff on there. There we go. As you can see, that, man, that sits way lower on the neck, doesn't it? But that looks pretty good. I feel like it's like almost losing the neck with this head. It doesn't look terrible, but it feels like it just went so much further down on that neck peg than that first head sculpt. But you could see that, you know, if you're mid-cast, his eyes will be closed, kind of deal. There, and then next we have the other head sculpt, and it's actually kind of hard to grip because of this collar piece, to grip the head in there because your hands, you know, only so big and kind of get in the way there. But we got the masked Stephen Sanders, you know, because they had to change him up. The mask was to cover up his identity, so Stephen Strange, Doctor Strange didn't really work out, so, you know, they changed his name to Stephen Sanders or whatever for that short time. The book ended up getting canceled anyway. But there's Doctor Strange. It's kind of odd. I need to go back and look at the artwork to see if his neck was exposed, depending on how the artwork looked at it. But I don't think his neck was exposed. I think it was all covered up with probably the portion of the mask. But, you know, it gives off that classic look, you know, from the comics when he wore the mask. And it doesn't look terrible. Just, you know, when you think Doctor Strange, this definitely isn't what you would probably picture. Okay, so with the extra hands that Doctor Strange comes with, the only open holding hand for the two weapons that he comes with, the Wand of Watum and the Axe of Anguramus, I know I'm not pronouncing that correct, but that's the name of the axe. He can only hold it in his right because that's the only hand where you can actually hold things. So you kind of have to pry those fingers open a little bit to get the Wand of Watum in there. And he does hold it nicely, as you can see there. And then for the axe with such a long handle, two open hands would have been very nice, so he can grab the axe and wield it with two hands. Unfortunately, this figure, he's only going to be able to do it with one, unless there is another figure that has yellow gloves that you might be able to use. I'm trying to think, what could you use? I have the old Baron Zemo, but you know, those yellows, actually, man, on video, those yellows look very similar. In hand, they are extremely different. So if there's another figure, I can't think of any off the top of my head. I'm sure there are that use the yellow gloved hands that you could be able to do something like that. I'm sure somebody from the X-Men or something. So you can actually hold the axe with two hands, but right now it is just the right hand there. Okay, here we have a couple of previously released Doctor Strange figures. Here, this Doctor Strange was in the Hulkbuster Build-A-Figure wave. Then we got the Dormammu Build-A-Figure wave when the first Doctor Strange movie came out. And here we have the new classic Doctor Strange Walmart exclusive that is timed around the Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness second movie release. So you can see we went from this one, they added the cape. This one took the cape. And I guess that was basically it. They all share the same hands, so that those hands aren't new or anything like that. But a huge difference from these two Doctor Stranges to this one. You can just see the progression that Hasbro has gone through, even if they reuse the same exact cape. because let's face it, it's a pretty good one. Aside from doing like a cloth cape or something like that, you know, that would make the difference in the world. But does look really good actually on this one. Still, again, sucks that it's glued down and that you can't actually remove it. So I'm sure a brave soul out there will be brave enough to pop that glue, but then it's probably going to look ugly as far as the sculpt work underneath there. So just a heads up on that. But those are our Doctor Strange figures that have been released, or the non-MCU Doctor Strange figures at least, that have been released since Infinite series was launched. Okay, and here's the Doctor Strange figure. We'll final look at it. Very solid release, man. I hope you guys can really actually get your hands on this. So keep an eye on it at Walmart.com. If I become aware of it, you know, coming in stock again, I will happily share the link. So, you know, make sure you're following me on Instagram. Turn those notifications on for my story posts. But hopefully soon, maybe during the Walmart Collector Con, it'll open up again for orders. You know, I don't really know. That's coming up March 24th. You know, remember the Ulick figure will be releasing or become available for pre-order at that time. Again, it seems like most of these Walmart exclusives are becoming online only. I don't know if that's because of in-store distribution has really been terrible when it comes to Walmart exclusives, or what's really going on with that. The last few releases haven't really been difficult to get. Doctor Strange did not immediately sell out, but if you didn't pre-order within those first couple of days that it was available, you may have missed out. But you know, when these figures come, don't wait to try and find it in store, because I know at the time that it was announced, we didn't know if it was going to be online only. We had no clue. Luckily, you know, with like the Ulick figure, I knew in advance that it was going to be online only. When I had reviewed the John Walker Captain America figure, I had found out that it was going to be online only. So there's those things. So with Doctor Strange being online only, whatever next Walmart exclusive figures that are be coming out, if you have a chance to pre-order it online, do it, because there's no guarantee that you're going to find it in store. So make sure when those go up for pre-order, you're putting in the best effort to be able to get it. But again, hopefully Doctor Strange becomes available. It sounds like he will be in the spring, so be on the lookout for it. Solid release. This figure looks fantastic. A lot of new stuff going on with him, especially the new torso, which is really cool. The cape does look good, even if it's glued on. If it were removable, I think, you know, could work around things a little bit easier. Make it a little bit easier for those that are going to end up using a custom cloth cape or something like that. Here you're going to have to pop the glue, and who knows how that sculpt is going to look underneath it. But this is a very solid release that I think you guys should pick up if you haven't already. So you guys let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of this classic Doctor Strange figure? Let me know in the comments below. If you guys liked this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And as always, thank you for watching.